Un palo santo. Ooh, she's smoky too, y'all. Just like I like it. Billows and billows of smoke. Y'all, listen. Happy Juneteenth. Baby, I got little Frankie Beverly Mays in the background. Oh, yes, honey. I am invited to I am definitely invited to the cookout. I'm the one that brought the carne asada and some guacamole, okay? None of that fucked up potato salad. What's going on, y'all? Greetings. Welcome to 773 Oracle and Tarot. Y'all know who it is. Y'all know what to do. Hit the like, subscribe to the channel, leave me a commentary. Shit, wish me a happy Juneteenth too. Shit, it's a federal holiday, baby. Shoot. But I do got to go to the salon to make some money, honey. All these people off work, they want to get their hair done, and I'm just the girl to do it for them, okay? I'm just the girl to do it. Oh, y'all, and all of this energy, sans a lick of coffee, and the coffee that I've been drinking has now been decaf because, you know, she got the high blood pressure. But anyway, y'all. Greetings and salutations. Listen, yesterday, honey, that job had me over there at 7 in the morning. So there was no. She couldn't do it. So I try to put a little content out there. So if I missed you, I'm sorry, baby. It is what it is. She gotta make money. You know what I'm saying? But we're not gonna go with this. Okay. So in spite of not being able to hook it up yesterday, I want to talk about it. So from Monday to Wednesday, because yesterday I didn't do it, you know, the energies, they were all talking about like trusting the process and staying committed, you know, to things, even when it took longer than we'd hoped for. Those energies were talking about understanding that there were no shortcuts to like meaningful growth. So And then we didn't do anything. You know, we didn't do anything yesterday. But today's energy, today's transit, I'm going to get to it in a second. The energy that we're working with today's transit is going to take us even deeper. Because sometimes the reason we're impatient, the reason we're afraid, the reason we constantly seeking control is because there is old trauma, or there is an old wound beneath all of that shit, and that trauma and that wound is asking to be acknowledged. Okay, before I get into that, let me you saw my shuffle. I'm about to do my pull. This is coming from Tony Carmine Sloreno, the Spirit Oracle, and this was given to me by a dear friend of mine from the NYC, from the Big Apple. I love this oracle the way I love him. Okay. So wait a minute. Okay, here we go. I got our card. We're gonna keep her right there. Okay. So today's transit, today's Chiron, which is called the Wounded Warrior, is entering Taurus. And this hasn't happened since the 1980s. Chiron entering Taurus hasn't occurred since the 80s. So, again, Chiron is called the Wounded Warrior, and Chiron represents the emotional wounds that still need to be attended to, that needs our attention. Okay, so Taurus, baby, Taurus rules security. Taurus, let me get this out. Let me get because I'm gonna need to. Okay, there we go. I spread out my tarot. So again, Taurus rules security. Taurus rules stability. Taurus rules money, resources, self-worth, comfort, and the relationship. Our relationship with whatever makes us feel secure, with whatever makes us feel safe. That's what Taurus rules. Okay, so when Chiron moves into Taurus, many people are going to become aware. They're going to become aware of fears that are connected to loss. They're going to be connected to fear with lack, scarcity mindset, instability, rejections, survival, issues of self-worth. Because that's what Taurus does. That's what Taurus does. And the purpose, that shit isn't to make us suffer, nay. We're not that's not to make us suffer. The purpose for this shit to come up is to help us heal. All of those self-sabotaging tapes that have been running in the background in our mind. That's what this energy is here for. It's not for you to relive the bullshit. It's for you to realize that you made it through and that you are more powerful than what tried to break you. And in fact, your power came from surviving that shit. And that's why this energy is we got this energy to work with us today. All right. So let me show you what that looks like in tarot. And here we go. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. Pentacles, because Pentacles are my earth signs. We did say it's Taurus. 5 of Pentacles. 5 of Pentacles. Look at those people. So with what's going on today, with the energies that we are working with today, here's the question. Where are you still carrying scarcity? Where are you still carrying loss or not having enough? Because what we want to get to, we want to get to her. We want to get our minds to where we are right there, luxuriating with the Empress. And with this, because of these energies, what would it look like if we nurtured ourselves instead of living in survival mode? What would it look like if we stopped feeding this survival mode and start feeding this mindset of thriving? What would it look like? Look at her. Look at her. With her abundance all over. Fearing nothing, baby. Mama knows, because where this came from, there's more. There's plenty more. There's always more. Baby, abundance is all around the diva right there. Yes. And then when we're coming for hope and healing, girl, we gotta come to my lady. Honey, she will, baby, she titties out. She don't care, sweetheart. She don't have to. And that's where we want to get to. We want to get to the star level. We want to get to the stars level, baby. And right here with this, the question with this card is, what part of you is ready to heal and believe in something better? Baby, belief works in belief is a double-edged sword. You can believe in that scarcity, or you can believe in that, you can have belief in that manifestation for abundance. Both of them require the same amount of energy, but which one is working for you? Yeah, baby, give up that familiarity. Give up that familiarity. This transit right here is going to bring up old fears to the surface, and fears of not having enough, fears of losing what we built, fears of instability, fears of being unsupported, fears that things will not work out. Some of these fears may be obvious. Other fears, they may be buried so deep that we've been carrying them for years without even realizing it. Life is good, baby. It's not heavy. The only reason why it's heavy is because of the shit that we choose to carry with us. So the goal right here, it's not to judge ourselves. We're not judging ourselves. The goal here is to notice what is coming up. What's coming up? Because what comes into awareness can bring about our healing. Remember, awareness carries responsibility. These things are not brought up so that you can notice them and not do something. No. You are aware of them, and now what you gonna do? Now what are you gonna do? You know, one of the hardest things about emotional wounds is that often they don't show up as pain. They show up as behavior. Yeah. Pain is immediate, but suffering is a choice. They show up as behavior. They show up as being as overworking. They show up as overspending. They show up holding on to shit too tightly, holding on to people too tightly. They show up like never feeling like you ever have enough. They show up like always preparing for the worst. Always waiting for something to fall apart. Many people think they respond, that they're responding to the present when they actually are reacting to an old wound that never really fully healed. So you got to remember, baby, healing doesn't always begin when the wound disappears. Just because the scab is gone and you didn't have no scars does not mean that you are fully healed. Healing begins when you stop pretending that the wound wasn't even there, that it didn't even happen. That's what you got to stop pretending like that shit never occurred, because you and I both know that it did, and it's affecting you. The moment that you become aware of the pattern, the moment that the moment that you become aware of the fear, of the belief, you create the possibility for change. Awareness is the first act of healing. Woo! And you got to remember something. Y'all are not defined by what you lost. You are not defined by what has been taken from you. You are not defined by your periods of lack or limitation. Because the divine presence inside of you remains whole, and it remains worthy, and it remains abundant. And today's energy, this Juneteenth energy, invites us to reconnect with that truth. So we're going to affirm. I release old fears of lack and limitation. I release old fears of lack and limitation. So today, y'all, we're going to pay attention to what feels threatening today. We're going to pay attention to where fear shows up. We're going to pay attention to thoughts that begin with, like, what if I lose? Or what if there isn't enough? Or what if this falls apart? We're not going to judge these thoughts. We're going to get curious about them. And we're going to ask ourselves, is this fear coming from today? Or is this coming from old trauma? Is this coming from generational trauma? Today is Juneteenth, a day that reminds us that freedom isn't just about what is happening around us. It is also about what is happening within us. Many people carry inherited fears, generational traumas, inherited beliefs about scarcity, inherited beliefs about survival, inherited beliefs about what is and what isn't possible. We honor freedom today. So we're going to ask ourselves, what old stories are we ready to be free from? What fear are we ready to stop carrying? And what would it look like to trust that there is enough, that you are enough, and that healing is possible? Y'all, I'm going to do the oracle. I look for the oracle reading on a separate reel, because this video is already 14 minutes long. So with that being said, y'all, happy Juneteenth. Baby, free yourselves. Gotta go. Y'all know the taglines. I gotta go. Happy Juneteenth, babies.